Hey internet, how are you? I'm sorry I've been kind of absent. I've just been sitting behind the camera lately. I haven't really been all that talkative. Before I begin, as you can see, one of the reasons I've been busy and absent from this vlogging scene is because of things like this, which I don't really regret. It was so much fun. In fact, I still have paint on my feet. I am here today because I had a weird little realization thing happen and I was like, the internet can probably confirm that what I did was not insane. I decided today, after a couple weeks of weird little coincidences, to go into the local fairy shop called Myths and Legends. It's basically like a fairies and magic paraphernalia shop that my town has had for like over 20 years. I used to love it as a kid. I remember like begging my parents to let me go anytime that we went down the street. And I could never ever buy anything, like I could never ever afford anything, and half the stuff was just like either really cheap junk or like really ridiculous like porcelain fairies as like statues and like fancy as shit jewelry boxes. The last couple of weeks I've been working weekends at my current job and working weekdays at my new job, so I'm very tired all the time, but I'm also stoked because I now have money. So I wandered in because over the last couple weekends I've served the owners of the fairy shop, and they call themselves fairies, and they come in these big long skirts that like are flowy and pretty, and they wear wings sometimes, and they have like face glitter, and it's just like everything I wish I could dress up as, but like not having to work in retail. I feel like face glitter would get really tiresome really quick. I thought like I should go into that shop because I haven't been there in like at least 5 or 6 years, and I'm sure there's something in there that I'll be like, huh, I never even thought to buy something like that, because I haven't like lavishly wasted money in a very long time. I'm not saying I condone like spending exorbitant amounts of money for no reason, but sometimes it is nice to do the whole treat yourself thing. As soon as I walked in, the smell of the incense that they burn like hit me, and I was just like immediately transported back to 2001 when I was like 7 years old, because when I was 7 this crazy and exciting thing happened, and it's probably like so lame now, but I used to go to a Montessori school. And one of the girls in my class had a birthday party at this fairy shop. In the back room of this store and in the garden they have like party venue things. So there's like toadstool cushions and like those glow in the dark stars that you would have on your roof as a kid, and like fairy lights everywhere, and it's all like really dim and like foresty, and there's like mural paintings. And it's just, when you're 7 and when you're 22, it is so friggin' cool. I walked in there and I was thinking about that party because my mum used to work at the school, and like she brought my costume so I could get changed after school, and because there were like 7 kids in my class, we all got invited and we all walked from my school to the fairy shop in our costumes. Like some of the girls had like bright pink fairy wings, and I had this smock that was like Hermione Granger's uniform. It was so much fun. That was the first party and probably the only party I was genuinely excited to go to. After that big hit of nostalgia, I started looking around the store. There was stuff like Wiccan themed notebooks. And then as I was looking, this screaming toddler came in with her mum, and because she was screaming so loud I was like, I'll just go over that way, and I ended up in the jewelry section. And I was looking for a while, and then I started seeing amethyst sort of jewelry, and as I was looking at it I was like, you should get that. I'm not the type of person to want things for the sake of wanting them. It's usually because they serve a general purpose, or because I can get some sort of gratification out of it, like a book. I ended up buying something. I bought this, which I'm hoping will focus. There you go. It's very purple and very shiny. And as I was driving home, I had my hand on the steering wheel like this, and I was like, why did I buy that? I know exactly why, because that is the exact thing 7-year-old me could never friggin' afford. So I guess, in a weird, unintentional way, I bought a present for my 7-year-old self, even though I'm 22 right now. Have you ever done something like that? Like, I can think of a billion things that I've done like that. I draw outer space all the time because when I was 11 I was obsessed with outer space, and now I'm like, I love outer space and I have the ability to draw it. So here's to you, 11-year-old Chelsea, because you couldn't do that and now you can, and it's really exciting. And I hate the fact that I'm a nostalgic person because it means I hold on to the weirdest stuff sometimes. I keep stuff that in a weird way has like no sentimental value to the person it's attached to, or is just a really odd thing to be sentimental about. Like, I have a box somewhere in that general direction of my room, and it's just Jiffy corn muffin mix, because in a previous video you may have seen, I tried a bunch of things from America that my partner sent me, and the Jiffy corn muffin box was just so vibrant and colourful, so I kept it, and now every time I see it I'm like, oh yeah, cornbread, America, I love that, that's great. I know a lot of people at the moment are finding that that's something that they're really connected to with their childhood, is playing Pokemon Go, because it allows you to relive when you were a little kid. And I feel like this ring is something that I would have freaked out over when I was 7, because I was the sort of kid that would like hunt for dragons and like pick up old twigs and use them as wands and just stuff like that. I even had a broomstick that I called the Firebolt 3000, and I had my dad like hot glue a gemstone to the top of it, and it's still around somewhere. So if you're anything like me, please do tell me about the stuff that you get really sentimental about, or that you've maybe invested in for the sake of your younger self, or maybe even stuff you've invested in for your future self. For Christmas last year, I asked my brothers to buy me a set of Harry Potter books, so that when I'm older and I have kids, hopefully, they can read all the books chronologically. And I even had this weird theory that I could like read them the book once a year, like start off with the Philosopher's Stone and then show them the movie, and then like read them the Chamber of Secrets, and then they can see the movie, and like as they grow up they can grow up with Harry Potter, because that's something I did. I sound insane, I know, but it's just such a cool thing to share with people. This is a very, very, very small example of that. I will look at this ring and think of that time I went to the fairy shop now almost always, and it's like my favourite thing because it's got memory attached to it, even though I just bought it, but I bought it from somewhere that is so familiar and also so overlooked, because I haven't been in that store for so long. I think I may just be a ridiculously sentimental person, or I'm just losing it. I don't know. Thank you for watching, and I'm sure I will be posting something up here again pretty damn soon. Bye.